It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, everybody. It's showtime. How you doing? Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for watching. Give yourselves a hand. I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. It's the day after the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. They are still partying out in L.A., Los Angeles, the cities of angels. Congratulations, the Los Angeles Rams, Super Bowl champions. Yeah, we're going to get into some pro football related stuff, Super Bowl conversation. My guest, Eric Clemens, sports broadcasting icon, my man, Eric Clemens is going to be my guest. So once again, subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Please like and share. As they say, subscribe, like, and share. I say subscribe, share, and like. Tell everybody you know, everybody you don't know, everybody you like, you love, you can't stand, you hate, it doesn't matter. Alien, strangers, to subscribe to the Geno Jones channel right here on YouTube, part of the Geno Jones Network. And like I said, share this in every episode because they are all fire. Also, shout out the 2020 Black Expo, the Geno Jones Show brought to you today. And for the next 3 weeks, the 2022 Black Expo here in the Charleston, South Carolina, actually the North Charleston Convention Center. So if you're thinking about taking a vacation, you want to get away for the weekend, you know, it's warm here. So everybody up, as they say, up north, Chicago, New York, Philly, Milwaukee, Detroit. It's warm down here, y'all. So come on down. That's going to be March 12th. It may be snowing in Chicago in March. A lot of times it does snow in Chicago in March in the Midwest. So come on down. It's going to be a great event. We'll be announcing some special celebrities. It's going to be a part of this year's 2022 Black Expo. So thank you for my good friends at the Charleston Black Expo. Your sponsors for today and this week and the week after that and the week after that. Congratulations to Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50 Cent. Man, that halftime, the Super Bowl halftime show, it was legendary. Now, listen, I'm torn. I did not watch the game. I didn't even watch the show live. Now, I saw that the halftime show got like 103.4 million viewers. The game itself, it was shown in like 36 million households. So you can imagine that's a lot of folks. In one house, you could have a party. You could have 10, 15, 20 people watching the game. I did not do it. But I'm really proud of, listen, for somebody that works in the entertainment industry, I am, because I'm torn. I'm happy. I really didn't want them to do it. I was hoping once they got up there, they would just kind of drop the mic and say, look, until you all end this racism in the NFL and stop doing black coaches like you did Brian Flores and all the other black coaches, and when you let Colin Kaepernick back in the league, even though Eminem, shout out to Eminem, he did take a knee, I believe, I want to say in support, a symbolic knee, supporting Colin Kaepernick. I do believe, I don't know. I didn't hear that from M's mouth. I'd like to hear him elaborate on why he took a knee, but the symbolism was there. So I give him credit for that. But listen, it was legendary, easy, one of the top 3 halftime performances behind Michael Jackson and Prince. Even I'd put Beyonce right there with that one. But the set design and the special effects was next level. As a matter of fact, the set design and the effects, I've never seen in the Super Bowl. Ever. So you're talking about raised the bar? Oh man, listen, they have elevated the game now. So anybody that comes after Dre and the crew, y'all got to come with it. So I'm sure even Steven Spielberg was like, damn, who did y'all special effects and set? It was next level, which is great. And it was great. I know it was really great for Mary because she talked about how she had to go back on tour because her divorce between her divorce and her ex-husband, who took all her money, according to Mary, and was spending a lot of it on his girlfriend, a mistress, who I believe was a background singer. A background singer, I do believe, for Mary. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. As you all bring me back on camera, please, thank you. But here's the thing. This is why I'm torn. And I said this before. When people continuously, basically, just give you their ass to kiss, at what point do we say, no, we're not doing this? Personally, you give me your ass to kiss, I'm gonna kick it, and then I'm gonna keep moving and never be. I'm just not gonna be bothered with you ever again. But that's me. That's me. Because the NFL and all the celebrities that were there, the game, Beyonce, Jay, LeBron, there were, so many celebrities, not to mention who was performing at the halftime show. Like you said, legendary, iconic, legendary. These are all, people call it a hip hop show. Yeah, but it was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50 Cent, Mary. They transcend hip hop. They are pop music. They are pop culture. They are global, not just here in America. They are global pop icons for the pop culture. Do you understand that? I don't think a lot of people really get. Dr. Dre's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with NWA. Snoop is going to be Snoop, Eminem, Mary, who should be in there already right now, and Eminem, all are going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Some might argue and say 50's going to be in there. Kendrick's going to be in there. So everybody that you saw on stage is either already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or on their way. But they are today. They were pop music and pop culture icons before the Super Bowl halftime show. They didn't even need the Super Bowl halftime show. Not at all. They're global celebrities. The world knows Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Mary J. Blige and Kendrick Lamar and Eminem and 50 Cent. Are you kidding? Come on. So they had like a news conference. Every year, Super Bowl, whoever performs at halftime, they will have their own news conference and talk about, what it was like and how excited they were and the preparation going into doing the halftime show. And somebody asked the question, I don't know what the question was, but Dr. Dre said that they were doing the halftime show for the culture. Now, we as black people, we know what the culture means. That means for us as black people, for our community, for our people. Now, as an entertainer, I get it. I would have done it differently. And so this is not a critique, not at all. Because if you're going to do the halftime show, then damn it, you better do it well. And they did the damn thing. So they didn't half-ass do it. They did it, but they set the bar real high. So from an entertainment standpoint, but here's my problem. And it's not with Dre, Snoop, anybody that performed on Sunday. Not really. It's not. It's just the principle. We are good enough to entertain you. 32 owners, 31 that are white, old white, wealthy billionaires. We're good enough to entertain you, but we're not good enough to be a part of your club. You don't let us in your club to be one of the owners, to own one of your franchises. You got an owner in Miami that allegedly, according to Brian Flores, the black head coach that they let go, who filed a lawsuit, a racial discrimination lawsuit against the NFL. Allegedly, according to Brian Flores, you got an owner that was paying him $100,000 to lose per game, to lose a game. For every game he lost, he's going to give him $100,000. So you had a former head coach in Cleveland, Hugh Jackson, who's the head coach at Grambling University, that basically said his owner did a similar thing, that there was a financial incentive for them to lose games. And the truth is, for Hugh Jackson's first 2 years in Cleveland, they won one game out of 32. They were like 1-31 in 2 years. And then we realized, well, damn, they were losing intentionally. The owner wanted them to lose. You got a situation with Daniel Snyder that all kind of investigations, you got people that's going in front of Congress, allegations, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, We know for forever they had that racist name Redskins that was racist and offensive to Native Americans. So I'm looking at what we got. Let's see, we got Miami, we got Washington D.C., and then we got Cleveland. So I'm looking at 3 franchises to where y'all could be like, you could tell them, look, y'all, you're making it. There's a term, and Eric, he'll back me up on this. They say protect the shield, the integrity. You don't want to do anything to embarrass or bring shame to the shield. That's like the NFL logos. They call it the shield. So you're not supposed, players, coaches, owners, anybody. They have like morals clauses in their contract. You're not supposed to do anything that will bring shame to the league. Well, what the hell are these owners doing? Make them sell the team. I could name several billionaire black folks that could put an ownership group together. Now, there's been talk about the brother Byron Allen, who bought the Weather Channel, who's bought a lot of media properties. He started off as a comedian. He's really done his thing about buying the Denver Broncos. There's Robert Smith. He's a billionaire, a black man who's a billionaire, a venture capitalist dude, made his money on Wall Street. He was the one, he did a commencement speech for Morehouse University down in Atlanta, like in 2019. And at the commencement speech, like the graduating class is still owed money, he paid like off their student loan debt. So, you know, Oprah, heck, y'all got Jay-Z that's helping y'all with the halftime entertainment, help him with a franchise. As a matter of fact, listen, your ownership group was on stage Sunday night. There's your ownership group right there. That's one. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50 got big money. That's your ownership group right there. That's one. Hell, Jay-Z is another one. He can get some crew. Let Jay get together with Diddy and some Oprah. Come on, y'all, really? Let Jordan get in on some of the action. Come on, man. If you really want to, if you're really about ending racism, you can paint that in the end zone, NFL owners, but you can't hire black coaches and you don't let black owners in the league. So before I bring on my guests, so listen, Dre, Snoop, Mary, Kendrick, M50, listen, just my opinion. Since we're talking about the culture, use your fame, your celebrity, your fame, your fortune, your finances. Like I said, Dre, you a billionaire. You down with Jimmy Iovine, he used to own Interscope Records. He could be a minority partner. He's not black, but you know, he could add some money to the pot. He's a billionaire. So that's 2 billionaires right there. So I'm just saying, use your celebrity, your fame, your fortune, your finances to help elect some of these brilliant black candidates that's running to be the United States Senator, like right here in South Carolina. We got a state representative, Crystal Matthews, that's running to beat Tim Scott. Like I said, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, all right? Don't be fooled, see Herschel Walker. Just because their skin is melanated, don't mean that they are for the culture, not at all. See Candace Owens, I could go on and on and on. So State Representative Crystal Matthews running to be a U.S. Senator right here in the state of South Carolina. She would be the first black woman ever to be senator here in South Carolina. Oh, we got a lot more. You got Val Demings running to be senator in Florida. You got, let's see, we got Cheryl Beasley. She was a former North Carolina State Supreme Judge. She's running to be a U.S. Senator in North Carolina. You got this brother named Malcolm Kenyatta in Pennsylvania running to be a U.S. Senator. Let's see, you got Mandela Barnes running to be, I believe he has a state office. I want to say lieutenant governor. I'm not certain. Don't at me or quote me, but I know he is currently in politics. He is running to be that jackass Ron Johnson to be the next U.S. Senator in Wisconsin. You got his brother named Charles Booker that's running to be a U.S. Senator in Kentucky. That's right. You know who's in Kentucky? Yeah, old crusty, wrinkled up ass Mitch McConnell. Even though he's not running to beat Mitch McConnell, he would unseat Rand Paul. You got his brother in Louisiana, Gary Chambers Jr. Google Gary Chambers Jr. So he did a commercial where the brother was smoking a joint, talking about how the criminal justice system, you got black men in jail for selling like a dime bag for life, but now you got white men in like Colorado and California becoming millionaires and billionaires selling marijuana. Oh, it's legal, but so what are we doing here? If you're going to legalize it, then why do you still have people in jail for selling something that's legal now? I digress as you bring me back on camera. You got, as a matter of fact, also here in South Carolina, you've got State Senator Mia McLeod that's running to be the first black woman governor here in the state of South Carolina. And of course, in Georgia, Stacey Abrams is running to be the next governor of Georgia. So you got a lot of people. Y'all got a lot of people. So let's do something different for the culture where you can really make a difference so we can put all these black U.S. senators in the Senate, and then we can get, you know what, we can get the Voting Rights Bill passed. We can get the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed. You can get the John Lewis Voting Right to Freedom, the Build Back Better. All the legislation that Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema blocked, it don't matter. They can go, they can kick rocks. They can just move the hell on. Go on and be Republican or whatever the hell you want to be. We don't need your vote. So that's really doing something for the culture, really affect people's lives, not just for one night, but for a lifetime. Let me bring on my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, sports broadcasting legend and icon, former ESPN Sports Center anchor, Fox Sports 1, play-by-play, BET, superstar sports anchor there in the Connecticut region. The brother's done it all. And black don't crack. Look at him. Still looking like he's 20 years old. Ladies and gentlemen,
man,
my dear friend, Eric Clemens. Brother Clemens.
How you doing, man?
I
wish I had your voice, man. You have such a tremendous speaking voice.
No.
It's just got the right resonance. See, I got that Midwestern nasally thing going. There's a little baritone in there, but that mid.
You were major market broadcast material in college, dude. That's why ESPN snatched you up back in the day, and you worked for all the major networks. So listen, I appreciate what you're saying. As I have my technician bring me back on camera. So I'm gonna play DJ Cassidy, Eric, and I'm gonna pass you the mic, and I'll let you start wherever you want to start, man. What's on your mind today?
Well, I got to start with the halftime show. On social media, we've certainly seen a lot of, let's say, non-black, the few white people that are in that age range that are not hip hop fans, because 70% of them bought it from those icons you saw up on the stage.
Yes.
And I challenged it like, that was the horrible. I mean, are you saying horrible because you don't relate to the genre? I mean, I don't necessarily relate to country, but when they did the country halftime show, they did a good job. I mean, it was, I'm not going to run out and buy, their records, but again, it came down to what was not being said. And I think the discomfort for many of whom were on the far right or whatever, is the race of the people that were on the stage, the music that spoke to a part of America that will never go away. It'll never go anywhere. And the NFL and all of its contradictions, we'll whiteball a player for taking a knee 1 minute, but we'll let the white guy take a knee up on the stage at halftime, and we knew it was coming, and it was okay. I mean, I feel you, and it's a very, what did Chris Rock joke one time? The NFL or whatever scenario he's in, it's like your rich uncle who molested you but paid your way to college.
Chris Rock would have a way of
it's like it's so ingrained in our social, societal DNA.
No, it's Eric. Let me just, not to cut you off, but I just want to piggyback. It's like an abusive relationship.
Yes,
it's a term that Sjogrensen. What is it? Stockholm
Munch-
syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. Yeah.
Where it basically people who stay with an abuser, someone that's beaten them or raped them,
Right.
if it goes on for so long, they begin to feel sympathy and empathy with the abuser.
Yeah. Uh, and you wonder, like, I mean, how- I mean, you just start looking at it. How much did we take? Like, okay, when they let black people start playing, none could play quarterback, and
Right.
then none were linebackers or middle
linebacker,
linebackers who
right?
called the signals.
Right.
And then Willie Lanier comes along, and they go, "Well, these guys can play that position too." Duh.
Right. And
Of course,
let's explain to some of the viewers the reason they said that we couldn't play quarterback because supposedly we weren't intelligent enough. And then the NFL. So bring them to recently, Eric. Remember the NFL for a while when it came to these lawsuits and paying former players money for brain damage. They'd had
right.
some bogus study that somehow that black players, black men didn't have like the cognitive skills. Their brain was inferior to white players. Now, am I right? You go. You
Yeah.
can explain that in better
Yeah,
detail
it
than I
was,
do.
even in the awards of some of the monies for head injuries, for black players aren't getting the kind of money awarded them for playing with all this head trauma that white players are getting. So it's a very sobering time, and you wonder, um, you know, was it ever designed for us to be that way? And after a while, like you said, you got to start to say, what am I doing here? If you're not gonna open the doors and let me in just like you let anybody else in, then maybe I'll just make my own door over here somewhere or leave you alone. Uh, because it's just not cool. I mean, and time again, I mean, Ozzy is one of the first, really successful GMs, gets in there
And
and
for those who don't know,
builds Ozzy. I'm sorry, Ozzy Newsome,
legendary Hall of Fame
right?
player for the Cleveland
Player,
Browns, who went on now. So he is one of the rare people. The only other person I could think of, Eric, you can correct me if I'm wrong, in any
mm-hmm,
other sport that was a Hall of Fame player and
mm-hmm,
became a Hall of Fame executive is Jerry
mm-hmm.
West in basketball.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. Is there
Is there
anybody
anybody else
else?
in the NFL Hall of Fame that was a Hall of Fame player and it went on to be a Hall
And
of
Hall of
Fame
Fame
executive?
executive. I'm gonna say no,
I can't.
because players are usually not in any shape by the time they got through
Right.
playing to
Yeah.
be an executive. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so and you look at it and you go, wow, my God, like, are we still talking about this stuff? And somebody played the Al Campanis interview, and he didn't come on the air with Ted Koppel all those years ago on Jackie Robinson Day to show how racist he
Right.
was.
And
you know,
explain to the viewers who don't know who Al
yeah,
Campanis is.
Al Campanis is a former general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers and oversaw some pretty good Dodger teams, as the franchise has been pretty good since moving from Brooklyn to LA, which my father never forgave them for, by the way. And This guy got on national TV and just as nonchalantly as you and I are sitting here said that, maybe some black people just don't have the mental capabilities. And then
Yeah.
he'd go on to dig a further hole and say, black people don't have the buoyancy to be good swimmers. And I'm going like, wow, to be such an idiot, you sure know a lot about black people. You
Right.
know, it was just absolutely stunning. And then you realized that it just never has been designed to give us anything. It just never has. Everything we've ever really gotten from this society was wrested away and taken in one way or another. And I think, it seems like it's all coming to a head. Now, we got way off the Super Bowl, didn't we? So let me rewind.
Well, no. It's wherever you want to go. No. You wherever
Yeah,
you want to, because
we
I got a
and
question. Finish
yeah,
whatever your Super Bowl.
and so I was watching, and yeah, it was an entertaining game. But the halftime show, just poof, gave me a quick jab,
Yeah.
because there was our folks. Now listen, I'm not your biggest rap hip hop fan. I'm an old head, right? If I was a young head, I'd be a rap hip hop
Well,
fan. I'm
well,
sure
hold
I
on.
would.
Wait. In all fairness, now I got to stop you, Keith. In all fairness, uh, everybody you saw on stage, but Kendrick
was a
Lamar was
was
an
an
old
old
head.
head.
Everybody on
Right,
stage, including M, was at least
right.
50
They
plus. Everybody
49,
was in their
50,
50s.
51. Yeah.
Yeah. Because M is
But
actually
a
his
lot
year.
of the young people don't realize that. They're looking at these people, and I said, no, no. You see Mary J. She looks great. I
Yeah.
mean, she looked great, but
And
she's
her new
51
album,
years old.
and her new album came out Friday.
New
Good
album's
Morning
coming out.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
It came out last Friday. Good Morning
it came out
Gorgeous.
last Friday.
So
Okay,
perfect
and
timing for her.
so my head was bopping, but I don't necessarily own all these people's music, but I know who they are, and they're mine. They're my folks. So I'm going to defend them and their right to speak in a way and to a condition that's been created by the good old US of A and what many of us grew up in. When you and I were growing up, we didn't have the rap stuff. It wasn't known then. We had to, do the temptation walk and other stuff
Well, no,
and really be able to blow.
the '80s.
But
We were
then the
down with the
80s
hip
came
hop. Yeah.
along and the rap came along. But for me, I didn't know whether it was just some fad or what it was. But then it became pretty evident it was here to stay. But for the people who don't understand, I would say to you, that's part of the problem. You don't understand. You don't have any empathy. Nobody has empathy. Nobody can look and cross the track and go, oh, I heard what he said right there. He said, growing up poor and having to struggle, but he kept fighting. And I get it. Anybody can relate to that, which is why, remember, 70% of white folks buy the hip hop now. Many of us couldn't afford to buy it, but we know who these people are and we revere them because they are us. So Snoop and all these people and Dr. Dre and all those folks, wow, it was really nice to see part of my culture, a huge part of my culture represented on the stage. And nobody was upset that Eminem was up there because he's from Detroit.
Right.
He part of the culture as well.
Yeah,
Which,
we adopted him. Because
yeah.
some people call him a culture vulture, but in respect to culture, I give him credit.
Right.
He's had a few slip ups, but yeah,
right. We all got some of those things that we'd rather change if we could, but I was torn too. I mean, our previous conversation about whether even to watch or what do they really represent? What are we saying? When I did my Jay-Z and said, the time for kneeling is over, and you're like going, but the dude, Eminem kneeled. And so is the time for kneeling over? Maybe it is. Maybe the time is for getting. Maybe the time is for just doing something dramatic and having work stoppages.
Or I'm glad you went there. You great minds think alike, because you led right into where I was going to go next. The question that I wanted to ask you. I even had this conversation with Damaris, because she's somewhat cynical. She didn't think that it really could happen. Now this is what the it is. I said, listen, at some point, to hell with ownership. Form your own league. All these billionaires, and wait a minute, we're not just talking about the black billionaires. You got, I think if I remember, there was a time with Jeff Bezos, who got all his billions in Amazon. He wanted to buy, I believe, the Chicago Bears for a minute. Eric, you may have heard that too.
I hadn't heard. No, I hadn't heard that one. Wow.
I heard that somewhere. It's sometime. You got Elon Musk, even though he's problematic, so I don't know about you. We may have to cancel Elon Musk, but maybe somebody like Richard Branson. But there are enough billionaires, and there are enough anti-racist white billionaires that could get together with enough black billionaires and Hispanic. Look, man, you got some brothers in Africa that's got more money than all these folks combined. Link up with some of your brothers back home on the motherland and say, listen, form your own league. So if you got enough billionaires together Eric, because I know people say, "Oh, but nobody couldn't compete with the NFL," and people forget the NFL wasn't always the NFL. Like in the mid to late, as a matter of fact, the NFL had to merge. You had the American Football League and the National Football League, and they had to merge because they were at risk of going out of business. Am I right or wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are correct.
So the NFL, the first Super Bowl, I think the tickets were like $12, and they didn't even sell it out.
No.
So what you all saw Sunday is not what the NFL baseball for decades was America's pastime. So don't think that the NFL can't fall off, because it can. It absolutely.
And what is it? What is it without its players? What is it without those icons? And it just so happens that 70% of those players happen to be African American. And the league has been carried and formulated, and the legendary stories, many of them from the late 40s all the way up to today, have been carried by African American players. And to have to go through all that stuff as we have in society. Well, you're not capable of being a quarterback. You're not capable of being a middle linebacker. You're not capable of being a center and calling the signals on the offensive line. You're not capable of being a head coach because you got to have these certain faculties. You're not capable of being a general manager. Certainly, you're not capable of being an owner. How many owners know anything about football? No. You don't have to know jack about football to be an owner. You just got to hire the right football people, right?
Right.
So, and you get torn, of course, common sense wise. Obviously, if you and I were both billionaires, I'd be damned if somebody told me what I'm gonna do with my money. But I don't know if I told you this story, and then we'll get to it. But our conversation weighed on my mind the last time we spoke about, your decision to I'm done with them for now. They ticked me off, and I get it. I truly do, and I felt that. I truly do, and I think about that because I'm a Black man with some empathy. But I remember I was so excited when Bob Johnson got Bob's Cats in Charlotte in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, geez, he's got to be looking for Black people all around to represent this team. He's a Black owner.
I know where you're going.
Dude, I was treated like a friggin' red-headed Irish stepchild, and nothing against redheads from Ireland. But I might as well have been that. I would have had a better chance, though, because I was told off the record that they wanted to make sure that they didn't come off like a team that was owned by a Black man. I said, wow, isn't that a shame?
Wow.
Isn't that a shame that he wasn't looking for a Black host to his television coverage, or a Black play-by-play man, or a Black radio
what year
announcer?
was this?
Oh, shoot. When did this was like when they first got out there. Whenever he bought them.
Was it early 2000s?
It had to be the early 2000s. And I really thought, I really tried to get in touch with them because I want to be a part of this history, Black ownership, and, he's going to show them how to do it right. I remember going on a tour of, Johnson Publications and stuff, I'm sorry, Johnson Products. And there was people ticked off that a couple of white women were working there. But they got 3 white women out of 100. Come on, y'all. They're gonna hire a few.
Let's not become what we despise.
Exactly.
Let's not become the oppressors, and let's not be racist in our own.
But they went totally flipped and wanted to make sure that in no way, shape, or form that they were gonna hire Black people in positions of prominence. Now, check this out. How crazy this is. You got NBA TV or whatever, every doggone game you turn to, when there's a second, some person is there with the microphone. All right, y'all, let's hit it up. Put it up, y'all. Put it up, y'all.
Yes.
And you're like, everything is hip hop and Black and cultural that you can see.
It's funny. Wait, you went there. Shout out to my man, John Mason, who did mornings at my sister station when I did mornings in Detroit. He's been the announcer, the PA announcer for the Detroit Pistons. He actually did an All-Star game. He was the brother back in the day when you heard Detroit basketball. That's my man John Mason. So
yeah, and bringing that cultural flavor to it, because doggone, is it about just who buys the tickets, or is it all encompassing? Yeah, we know you buy most of the tickets because you placed yourself in a position societally, economically, and politically.
Society placed you in a position.
Right. You can do it. You can buy the tickets, because when black people can get a ticket to a game, they go in the game. I've seen more regular hard-working looking black folk enjoying a game and a beer than I ever have at any time in my life. My father loved baseball, couldn't afford to go see it, and the ticket prices go up and up and up and up. But who's playing the game? What does the game represent? It represents everybody. It represents people who came up in the suburbs, or people who came up poor, and people who came up mixed race, and people who came up, here, there, and everywhere. And so it should incorporate a bit of Americana, but there's this move that you only want a certain slice of Americana to show. And damn it, my ancestors and our ancestors have played as big a role in making this bitch what it is as anybody else.
Y'all can go back and bench with anybody that watches me on a regular basis. Now, I've been, Malcolm X would be proud of a brother, because I've been doing my social justice.
We sound like we went to the same college.
Yeah, we did. Oh, so listen. So before I let you get out of here, so here's a question I want to ask. Like I said, I had this conversation with Damaris. So let's say if you got Jay-Z, Snoop, and Eminem, and you got Byron Allen, you got Oprah, you got Michael Jordan, you got LeBron is getting him millionaire status, and then you got a chance to network with some of these billionaires who are black businessmen on the continent of Africa, and some like-minded, some anti-racist white people. Who knows? We may bring in, I don't know, Jeff Bezos. I don't know what his record is, but it's okay. Fine. You ain't got to love black folks, but we want some of the money. We want to make you part of the investment group. You could be a minority, because we used to be the minority share. So now we're going to be the majority owner, but you can be a minority shareholder and go ahead and send some of them billions our way. Get Jeff Bezos, get Richard Branson, just some of the folks like that, and said, listen, guys, you all can form your own professional football league, and it could work. And I know you could do this, the blueprint. If you could just kind of just give us a basic blueprint, if you had a 90-second, 2-minute, like a 2-minute warning, 2-minute drill to tell them what they needed to do to form a successful alternative to the National Football League, another professional. And I know we got the USFL, but I'm talking about serious, because back in the day, the USFL for a minute, they were
until guess who tried to put them head to head against the NFL.
Yes, and right
on Sundays during the fall. But let's not even go there. But anyway,
so what would that blueprint? What would that plan? What would the plan look like? What would you tell them?
It would have to look like just what you talked about. People who were anxious to challenge the NFL, and that's a big challenge. That's like a regular person challenging Thor while he got the hammer swim. It's a challenge.
Right.
But you're going to have to lure great players who were playing in the NFL, just like the USFL did, over to your league, and then people look and go, wait, you went over there, what? What's going on over there? Oh, they have this over there? Oh, well, yeah, maybe. We're treated better over there? You have 12 teams and 6 black head coaches and 4 black GMs and 2 Latin GMs and 1 woman GM, and,
that part.
What? And so showing them how it's done. Because I just don't know that they care enough to get it, man. I just don't know that they care.
So here's the plan that I had, because I got granular. I thought you were gonna get granular. So here's the deal. I'm like, all right, let's just say, so the NFL's got 32. So I say, let's just start off with maybe, I know you said 12. Let's start off with 20. We'll start off with 20. Let's identify 20 cities. Let's go in. Let's look at some of the leases. Okay, which
Mm-hmm.
stadium? Like, look, let's Soldier Field in Chicago. There's a big
Mm-hmm.
controversy. Like the McCaskey family, they want to basically move out in the suburbs, get away from the Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get out of the city. But Soldier Field, and it's one thing playing 40, 50 miles outside of Chicago. Then you ain't the Chicago Bears. But
Yeah.
Soldier Field. Okay, you know what? We got enough money. We'll add, we will contribute. I think the Chicago Park District owns Soldier Field. All right, you
Yes.
know what? We got a couple billion. We're gonna drop a couple billion in terms of renovation. Maybe y'all kick in some money. Now keep in mind, Eric, you know this better than me. You could explain it to the viewers. A lot of these stadiums were built with public money, taxpayers' money.
Most of them.
So you get enough billionaires say, hey, we don't want any taxpayers' money. We will go in and we will work out a better lease deal. We'll guarantee the lease for whatever, let's say 25 years. And we'll double it. Go to the networks. Like you said, listen, we're forming a network. We got a check for you. How much, all the networks, I think, what was it, the last contract with the NFL was like $9 billion.
It was a lot.
Like, that's chump change. What? I think Jeff Bezos alone is worth $200 billion. It's like, what do y'all?
Right.
$9 billion?
It's the Bezos League.
Right. Enough of us get together. Tell you what, we got $20 billion. Here's a check for $20 billion. All right. We want to guarantee. Now, I think you made an important point. Now, because but I think there's enough people in America that will watch football year round. Because the point you made, the biggest mistake that the USFL made was that they scheduled games the same time of the year.
Yeah,
the
they
NFL.
used to, their first year or so, they went spring.
So
it was great.
If you would say, do basically, like the regular season, the NFL season is over now. So you would say, make it a spring league, go to what? To how many games would you do? Because the NFL, now the NFL's doing 17 games.
17.
So let's
probably do 14 maybe.
There you go. And it's better for the players. Less wear and tear. Less wear and tear damage.
And then when you lure players, when you get those free agents or those players lured over with nice contracts to be a marquee player in those cities, it's the way the USFL did. I mean, Herschel Walker, USFL, Doug Flutie, USFL, Steve Young, USFL. Reggie White, USFL. They weren't playing around.
Jim Kelly, Hall of Famers.
They weren't playing around.
Right.
They were signing guys, and people were looking, and this was becoming a problem. The NFL was not occupying that top spot in American sport that it occupies today, and because it just doesn't seem like they care. You got to get the TV money too, but I'm sure a TV network with some star power in the new league would sign a contract and cover the games of that new league.
So here's my thing, though. Like I said, if you got enough of these billionaires, it's like, look, for the beginning, we gonna underwrite it. It's like a promoter.
Right.
I don't need it. We the promoter. We are cutting you a check. All right, we are cutting you Fox, NBC, CBS, and now, because now all of a sudden, you notice the NFL, they got this partnership with Amazon.
Right.
So see, you can think outside the box. It's like, Bezos, dude, you got stock. You probably got more stock in Amazon than anybody. You founded the company. So it's like, hey, I got Amazon. Then you got Hulu. You got all these streaming service. Work out a deal with YouTube right here. Y'all got me and Erica do the games, right? He'll do the play-by-play. I'll just be the comedian.
Hey.
So
it's there, and I'm sure we aren't the only ones talking about it. The problem is we don't have the money to talk seriously. But there are people talking about it because, see, while you keep having to pay the superstar these many millions, and they get the many millions from endorsements and the many millions from the book deals and the many millions, these guys are entrepreneurs and complicated, multi-layered business people now. And so LeBron produces movies and gets over here in some shoes and gets over there in some stores, and Shaq owns some pizza joints and Magic owns movie theaters. And so these are not chumps just sitting around here saying, oh, let me play with my money. No, they're really looking for things that they can create. And if
Just go ahead, finish your thought. I was just
Yeah. But if nobody has the empathy to give you the respect that you deserve, then okay, I'm just not gonna come to your house no more. I'm gonna go build my own house over here. Mama used to say I can do bad all by myself, right?
Right.
So
that part.
you can do bad all by yourself, and I wouldn't go like, oh my God, I can't believe the Justin Fields left the Bears and is going to this new league. It's like,
Hey,
well,
Eric, this is how you do it, and this is the one other key part. Guarantee the contracts. Fully guarantee the contracts. You want to shake up some shit. Fully guarantee. Justin Fields. We're going to fully guarantee your contract.
That truly would. That would be something that they would have to pay attention.
The McCaskey family's cheap. They got a price. What y'all want? How much y'all want? We going to cut you a check. We going to buy this brother's rights, and then we going to guarantee him 100. It ain't gonna be that phony, $100 million, but only 40 million. No, we are fully guaranteed, injury and all, $100 million.
And just like back in the day, folks, do some research on it. Back in the day when the AFL was around, player was coming out of college. He had choices now. Yeah, the NFL team drafted him, but who's this San Diego Chargers drafted me? Who are they? They got some nice little lightning bolt on their helmet. What did they offer me?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
I think I'm gonna go over there.
So were the Texans? Did the Texans become the Cowboys, or did the Texans go to Kansas City?
Oh, you would ask me that. I can't remember.
Right.
I think
because when Bob Hayes
might have gone to Kansas City. Yeah.
So I guess they had to. Okay. Yeah. But then the Cowboys.
I want to think they went to Kansas City.
Me too.
But I'm not. I think because the Cowboys, I remember kind of them being talked about as an expansion team from a few years earlier when they started to be America's team in the early 70s.
Right.
But I could be wrong. I mean, I don't have my junk in front of me. But listen, it is possible, and we see when the empathy is there, when you give anyone, not just African descendants, anyone an opportunity, the exposure to a thing. I ain't never seen so many white people dance hip hop like they dance in my life. Why? I can remember a day where white people in general, they couldn't get down on the dance floor. I'm just sorry, they couldn't. It just wasn't part of their cultural existence. Now, shoot, a white boy, a white girl will dance you under the table, and you're sitting there going, their booty's growing and everything. What the heck's going on?
Well, you know,
what you going like? What's going on?
Well, yeah, science. You know, a little help from science.
But
medicine.
But you understand my point.
Yeah.
When we cross culture, when we share, and everybody has an opportunity to express themselves from their whatever, or even borrow something from another culture. It's okay. We respect that. But when you just say, well, we'll borrow from you up to a point, now we got to close the door, and no, you can't come in here. This room is for the rich billionaire guys only, and we don't want you in here.
Right. Well, we will embrace or steal the culture because let's just real quick, the history of America, Black Americans and Black communities, the ghettos that people refer to, all of your great art, music, literature came out the Harlem Renaissance, the Renaissance of Chicago in the 20s and 30s, jazz music. Listen, country music. Country music is basically blues sung by country white folks. Do your history. All right.
Yep.
The origin of country music is Black, quote unquote, blues, not the blues that we know now, different kind of blues.
Yeah, rock and roll, evolution of the blues. So my mother liked Led Zeppelin because they sounded bluesy.
All right. So we have Black people, we have all, for the world, Eric, we have always created culture. We are the trendsetters. We set the trends, the fashion styles, like you said, hip hop emerged, out of, New York City, the Bronx and Brooklyn, all that house music out of Chicago, all the
Absolutely.
music, art, fashion is always
Everything.
grew out of the hood. And then what happened when white folks with money saw, oh, white kids like it too. Let's figure out a way to where we can kind of steal this and claim that we invented it, remix it, market it, and make billions and then billions and billions of dollars.
Quick, nothing's a better example of that than disco. I remember
that part
going to see Saturday Night Live, or Saturday, what was it? Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Live was Fever. Saturday Night Fever. And one of the first scenes of the movie, I almost walked out, but I spent my $4 or whatever it was back in the day. I wasn't gonna walk out on that. But they're in the club and wherever they are in Brooklyn or wherever they are in Queens, wherever it is that John Travolta's character and his boys are from. And they're having a dance contest, and there's a black couple in the dance contest, and they start doing the bump, and the people in the club start booing them. And that was a definite signal, is that this does not belong to you. This is ours. And then a few years later, when they got tired of it and they wanted disco demolition night at Comiskey Park and all that stuff, then all of a sudden we invented disco and it was all ours.
Right.
And you're like, wait a minute, we've been dancing at nightclubs since the 20s. In 30s, we've been rocking to the beat since the beginning of time, and now you want to take this and give it to us and say, we did that. We didn't do that. You did that. But it goes to your point. And until we can get a situation where you'll either deal with me with some degree of empathy or respect, or I'll just have to move on and get my own. Because too many people have been in the system and they know how to operate within it, and they've made enough money to be a player in this game. And eventually they're going to figure out a way to play their own game. And they may just force that kind of thing if they continue to act as though, they don't see what's right in front of them. And so Super Bowl, entertaining, blah, 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 blah. But really, just a blip to me on the screen of everything that was going on around it. I mean, the gentrification of the Inglewood neighborhood that they built this $5 billion stadium in. And it's a beautiful stadium, but it's a stadium. It's not used every day of the year. It's a freaking stadium. And so we got people trying to find a place to live, and you're talking to me about a stadium. So it's real tough to feel good about that and be a man with any empathy whatsoever, especially a black man with any empathy, because we know many of the people that got moved out look like me. Could have been my uncle.
Absolutely.
Or something.
And
so it's tough. Mm-hmm. It's tough because I love football. I love the heroes I grew up worshiping, watching them play the game like it's supposed to be played. And some of them played it with a flair that we haven't seen before and won't see since. But that's our culture, because we do things like that. We have a flair about the culture, and some people don't understand it. They want to conform. They want to put everybody into a box. Geno, you got to talk like this and sound like this and be like this in order to be a DJ I'll accept.
You know why? That's because the creativity that we have, they don't want to compete with.
Right.
So I don't want to have to compete, because I can't compete with that. So I got to limit it. I've got to put it in a lid. I got to somehow compress it. I got to put it in a box. I got to literally put it in prison. I got to.
In the meantime, we're supposed to emulate it. We're supposed to become something we may not necessarily be
to make somebody else comfortable.
Accepted, to make somebody else comfortable. And it's just not very cool. It's just not a cool place to be or visit or be at. And so, yeah, enjoyed the game, and Aaron Donald, and people, make some big plays at the end. I felt sorry for OBJ blowing out the knee again on the, the turf field. He just landed wrong, and now, might ruin his free agency chances.
Hate that.
But it was really kind of hard to get real worked up about it because of everything that the NFL has represented over the last whatever years. Remember back when Peyton played, he was a free agent and nobody even bid for his services.
Yeah, and not
Walter
to mention,
Payton.
And speaking of ownership, on your way out, as you always had dropped the mic, Walter Payton was forming an ownership group to buy a franchise in St. Louis. And they basically gave him the stiff arm, Heisman. Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. At the time, the all-time leading rusher.
The NFL has an award named after Walter Payton, the man of the year for doing great work in the community. So they got an award named after Walter Payton, but he wasn't good enough to be allowed to own a franchise.
Right.
Eric Clemens is always my brother. You dropped the mic. I appreciate this. We went into overtime. I know that people.
I got to stop running my mouth so much.
I love it, but I know your phone folks are blowing you up. Tell them if they were watching this show, they would see you, man. Thank you for your contribution. Your contribution.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Perspective is I can't put a price on it. I appreciate you, man. Love and respect.
Always a pleasure, man.
All right, man. Thanks for watching.
All right,
Thanks
man.
for joining me. That's Eric Clemens, ladies and gentlemen, sports broadcasting icon. Real quick, shout out to my man, Uncle Roy Lee Productions. I see you, my brother. Hey, Pia Nelson. Everybody else watching, thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, God. Most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Please subscribe, share, and like. Subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Share and like and share this in every episode. Happy birthday today to Amber Riley from the TV show Glee from back in the day. She is 36. The rapper, the businessman, the man, the face of Cash Money Records, Birdman. One of my coworkers, he tried to come for me. If I don't send for you, then don't try to come for me. All right? Birdman, a.k.a. Baby, used to be Tony Braxton's dude. That was her man for a while. I think they broke up. Birdman is 53 today, and the actress Lynn Whitfield, I think her favorite role, she was great in it. She was crazy. She was like a crazy rich stalker. Her role in Thin Line Between Love and Hate with my man, Martin Lawrence. Lynn Whitfield is 69 today. All right, everybody. Once again, subscribe, share, and like the Geno Jones Show brought to you today, this week, the 2022 Charleston, South Carolina Black Expo at the North Charleston Area Convention Center. Just do a search on the Charleston, South Carolina 2022 Black Expo. Just type that in. 2022 Charleston Black Expo. Charleston, South Carolina, right? He'll take you to the website. You can order your tickets. You can see who's going to be there. As a matter of fact, we'll have Jocelyn with the Black Expo, Black Pages USA. She'll be coming. She's going to join the show later this week and give us the latest update. I hear they got a big celebrity to announce who is going to be making an appearance this year. I can't even tell you who it's going to be. It's going to be big. That's all I'm going to say. Because if I say anything, then you'll know. So I'll let her break that news right here. Thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody in the chat room. I love each and every one of you. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. Go back and binge watch all my back episodes. And if you came in the middle of this episode, you can go back now and watch it. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be on Wednesday, tomorrow, as we salute our working divas on a Working Divas Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, I got one more thing to say on my way out. As always, be blessed. Thanks for watching. Now go back and binge watch the back episodes. I'll holla.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.